Hello, it's Jay Mason, and it's good to be with you. So today's topic is, why does our body have cannabis receptors but not alcohol receptors? And when I first started learning about cannabis, that was really one of my first aha moments, was that we do have cannabis receptors, and it's within the endocannabinoid system, which is in all of us, and that controls our pain perception, our mood, our appetite, and a whole lot more. So the next question was, well, if we have cannabis receptors, certainly we have alcohol receptors. And the answer is no, we don't have alcohol receptors. So kind of imagine your kitchen, and you've got all these plugs, and you've got the appliances, and maybe you have a blender and a coffee maker and a lamp, and they all fit because that plug was made for that appliance. But then you have that friend who brings you the European toaster, and it has that crazy adapter, and you gotta cram it in, and it's clumsy and sparks may fly. And that's kind of the difference between cannabis and alcohol in our body. Cannabis fits into receptors, into a system that we already have, and alcohol doesn't. So to go back in history, this really starts back in 1964, which I know seems like a long time ago for some of the people watching this, but it's really not. It was only 1 year before I was born. And that was when THC was first discovered. And one of the most amazing things they discovered along with that is that THC fits in very nicely with sites that are already in our body. It's like having a spare key to the same lock. And then later, and it wasn't until the late 1980s, that was when I was graduating from Stanford, they discovered that our body produces its own cannabis-like substances. So that term endocannabinoid, so the endo means within. So those are cannabis-like substances that our body produces within us, and THC and CBD are the two main ones. So think of the endocannabinoid system as kind of like a balancing system. So scientists use the word homeostasis. So its purpose is to maintain balance in our lives. And there's two receptors. There's the CB1 receptor, and you guessed it, the CB2 receptor. But the CB1 receptor is primarily in our brain and our brainstem, and it controls things like our memory and our mood, our pain perception, our coordination. CB2 receptors are primarily in our organs and our immune system, and it controls inflammation. And THC and CB2 fit very nicely. Alcohol has 0 receptors, so it doesn't fit in. It kind of barges in a lot of places at once. So the endocannabinoid system, think of it kind of like the thermostat in your house. So cannabis and the endocannabinoid system is going to work gradually. It's like turning the thermostat up and down and finding that right balance. Alcohol is more like, opening every window, throwing open the doors, and, hope for the best. You're going to get a change in temperature, but maybe a little bit more chaotic than you wanted. So really the three issues are safety. Oh yeah, so on the safety side, so back to those CB1 receptors, the reason that there's never been a fatal overdose strictly from cannabis is because there aren't any of those receptors in the part of your brain that controls your heart rate or your blood flow. So it's impossible to fatally overdose on cannabis because those receptors aren't there. So cannabis, can't kill you. Alcohol kills hundreds of thousands of people a year. So from a safety perspective, it's a no-brainer. From a medical potential, we're still learning more and more about cannabis, and we are just at the cusp. And we're learning about more of the medical benefits and medical potential. Alcohol still, we haven't really found any medical potential. There's no, alcohol therapy for arthritis. So that medical potential is the second part. And then the third part is the stigma versus the biology. So the stigma, for all the time I've grown up anyway, is that with alcohol, it was good, it was fine. And cannabis was bad, but the biology of our body tells us something completely separate than that. So cannabis speaks the same language as our body, and alcohol does not, for me anyway. But I hope this was informative to you, and if you enjoyed it, please hit subscribe, and I'll keep sharing some videos with you. So thanks for joining.